Hi everyone. I am so sorry for the delays. I was having some issues with Facebook and figuring out how to go live, but I'm finally here. So hopefully I didn't take too long. I hope to see some more of you joining. I am so thankful to be able to do this today. And um, yeah, I'm really excited to share this content with you. These are some things that I have, experienced for a long time, a lot of things that I've worked through, and they really helped me to get quicker at manifesting and gain clarity to know what it is that I really want and all of the things that I wish to bring into my life. So I'm so excited to share this with you today. Um, if there's anyone watching right now, I see four of you. Do you guys want to let me know where you're joining from? Hello, everyone. And right now, I'm joining from Ottawa. So I'm in Ottawa, Canada, born and raised here. And the rain stopped, the sun's out again. So I'm really happy about that. Um, and yeah, if you're new here, if you're new to me, my name is Naomi Sarah. I really help people to transform their lives and start living a life of their dreams by clearing out the blockages, those emotional things that might be hidden or we might be aware of that have been holding us back from manifesting the life that we want and from really calling in all of our desires and our wants. And I help people do that a lot more easily than they would on their own. Today in this class, we are going to be talking about four of the ways that, I've come into roadblocks kind of over the years as I've tried to manifest things into my life. So if any of these kind of hit a nerve for you, or if you have experienced anything similar, I'd love to see about it. Definitely drop something in the chat if something comes up that you're like, oh yeah, that's totally me. Okay, so now that we're a few minutes in, I just want to take a couple minutes to just drop in and just fully be here and be present in this moment. I know for myself, I was a bit like, you know, nervous, anxious, trying to get this live started, and I'm so glad, I'm so thankful that it's finally up and running now. So let's go ahead and whenever you're ready, just close your eyes and we are going to start by taking some deep breaths in through the nose and fill your belly. Hold it for a little and exhale through the mouth. We'll do that two more times. So inhale, hold, and release. And continue on your own. And as you're inhaling, just picture you gathering all of the tension in your body, all of the anxiety from today, anything that has been stressing you. Imagine you just breathing that in, and as you exhale, you're going to release that out and make space for all that we're about to call in, all that we are going to do today, and all that's coming in the future. So together we'll do another 2 breaths. In, release. All right. And whenever you're ready, you can just start, touching, moving your fingers, wiggling your toes, shaking your body a little bit, and go ahead and open your eyes whenever you feel comfortable and ready. So if you guys feel a bit lighter, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling today and what you're looking to receive from this masterclass. I am so excited to share this with you all. As I mentioned, this is my first time doing a masterclass, so I am just really, I'm very hopeful, and I know that this stuff is going to land for you because it's really changed my life. And we aren't even going all the way, into everything that I've been able to do for myself. But yeah, so we are going to start by just starting to question what it is that you would love to bring into your life. I want you to think, what if you had no limits to what you could have, or who you could be, or even what you could do with your life? What if, the potential was unlimited? And what would you do differently? What do you feel has been kind of holding you back from doing these things and bringing them into your life? And as you guys think about that, I'm going to share what I believe is law of attraction and manifesting. So I truly do believe that a lot of us have already been manifesting, before we were even aware of it, because a lot of the times these things that we might think unconsciously show up often in our lives. I'll give you a really great example. I recently just purchased a car and I had to wait a few months to get it. But right after I purchased the car, I started seeing it everywhere. Literally, every time I would go outside, I would see at least 5 of them. And now I finally got my car. But it's funny because I'm still thinking about it and I'm still seeing the cars. I literally saw 3 already today when I was outside for maybe 20 minutes. So it's often that, it's that like attracts like. It's what we are thinking, we are bringing into our reality, we are bringing into our world. And that's really what I feel is law of attraction. There are so many other things behind it, like your emotions, like, your feelings of worthiness, or whether you deserve what you're asking for. There are so many layers, but at the very base, the very first thing is really just that. Like attracts like. And the things that we're thinking are really what's creating our reality. Our thoughts have so much power, and a lot of the times we're just on autopilot, just thinking whatever we see. It's very easy for us to pick up ideas that aren't even our own and we just run with it. And somewhere down the line, those ideas get implanted or like brought in, and we really do believe that these are our own thoughts and our ideas. But lucky for you, they aren't. So, at any second, at any moment, you can really start shifting your thoughts, your perspectives, what you're attracting to yourself by paying attention to these things that you say out loud, or, to yourself. Once we start deliberately creating, we can really change a lot for ourselves. So now that I've talked a little bit about what law of attraction is, I also want to flag that the universe does not understand no. So a lot of the times we might be constantly saying things to ourselves like, I don't want to be broke, I don't like this feeling. But what we're doing is sending out these rockets and asking the universe to bring in more of what we're asking for. So when we're saying, I don't want this, the universe is really only understanding. Broke, you want more opportunities to, lose your money. And that's more of what we see. And it's so easy for us to get stuck in that cycle of, speaking of things that we don't actually want more of, that we don't want to manifest into our reality. And oftentimes with that, we're so emotionally invested in this feeling that that emotion really emphasizes, really makes things happen a lot faster and a lot bigger for you. So that's why oftentimes when we're speaking of these negative things, they seem to happen almost immediately. It's also that example of waking up in the morning and, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're already in that mind state of, nothing is going to work out for me today. I already know today's going to be a difficult day. Well, when you're waking up and speaking that, that's the energy that we're bringing into our lives. So I really want you guys to just, if there's anything you take from this masterclass, is just to start paying attention to the things that you say to yourself, these things that we're putting out there. And if you're noticing that there's a cycle, there's, patterns repeating, then just notice it and start to shift the things that you say. And that will slowly, start to change your reality. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. I know for me, it was really difficult at first, but now it's almost second nature. So don't be discouraged. We really have to be easy on ourselves and show ourselves that self compassion and self love to know that it's all working to get us to wherever we need to go. And every single thing that we experience is just another opportunity for us to learn and grow. So, yeah, be easy on yourselves because it's not always as easy as they say it is. In Hollywood, I know law of attraction has been super they're talking about it a lot and it's become really mainstream, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this course, is just to you know let you guys know, like, hey, I know this is what they're saying, but there's actually a bit more to it. So, with that being said, I want to let you guys also know that after this course, I am launching officially today my 6-week program called Rewrite Your Life. And if you guys love what you're seeing in this masterclass, or if you want to go any deeper, we're really going to be looking at these patterns, these negative thoughts, these stories that we've been telling ourselves, and starting to shift them into the future that we want to see for ourselves. We're going to start dreaming again and just gaining the tools and everything we need to be successful and to start being magnetic and master attractors, right? So if you're interested in that, leave a comment in the chat box or send me a message and I'll get you all the details on that. Right now, the price is $630 for the 6 weeks. And if you join before July 1st, I'm also throwing in a Tao Healing Hands blessing and a free one-on-one with me. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. If not, let's continue on and really get into this awesome information that I prepared for you all today. So now, as I said, we are going to be diving deep into a few of the roadblocks that I've experienced in my life as I've been manifesting. Um, like I said, I've been manifesting for my entire life pretty much, but I only started deliberately creating and calling things in about 2015. And from 2015 to now, to today, I only really figured out what I was doing wrong last year. And by last year, I mean like things started shifting last May, so it's really been a year and a month, and my life has changed dramatically. I have, gained so much confidence. I have called in my house, my car, a job that I love, a great community around me, and that has all been by, steering away from all these things that I was doing wrong before. And I say wrong, but really everything led me to this point. So even though I had to go through these, it was all for a reason. And if you find yourself in these same cycles as well, it's really just trying to teach you something to help you further down when you come into the same situation. You'll be equipped with the knowledge and the tools to know how to not fall into that same pattern, that same cycle. So if you guys are excited to learn about this, let me know. Maybe drop a reaction, an emoji. I'm just going to take a breath and get some water. All right. So the first roadblock was that my manifestations were not happening as fast as I wanted them to. And I know this may be something common. We get very impatient sometimes when we ask for things and they don't show up as fast as we wanted them to or when we wanted them to at all. And yeah, a lot of the times as well, things show up after we needed them, after we've asked, for them to be delivered by this specific date, and it doesn't happen, and you start to get discouraged and wonder, like, why is it not happening? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, and it's still not coming in. So for myself, I was getting really stuck in these few things. So the first one was that oftentimes I was out of alignment with my asks. And by alignment, what I mean is I was asking for things, and everything has a frequency. Everything is energy, right? So that's why we say like attracts like. It's really the energies are being attracted to each other. So if we're asking for something, we're really asking for the energy of that to come into our realities, to come into our lives. And if we're not at the same frequency, at the same vibration, a lot of the times we might miss these things, you know? It's kind of like, I'll give you a great example that Esther and Abraham Hicks uses quite often about the radio. And, you know, you turn into a specific channel, maybe it might be 89.9, and you're gonna expect to hear 89.9 music. You know, you're not gonna hear like Magic 100 or something like that. But that's not to say that Magic 100 is not, you know, they're not live and they're not broadcasting. So, in order to reach anything on a different level, we have to raise ourselves. We have to be on the same channel in order to receive. So, the best way to do that is to really get in alignment, you know, do things to raise your vibration, keep the energy of what it is that you want to receive. And that will allow it to find you, really, to be attracted to, and for you to see it manifest in reality. Another thing that I was often getting stuck on was not being able to let go of outdated things, of things that were no longer serving me. I was unable to detach from that. And by detaching, I just mean I wasn't able to let go. It's really just that. You know, I was a little bit unsure about whether what I was asking for was really going to come. So obviously, we're going to hold on to what's comfortable. But sometimes what's comfortable is really keeping us stagnant and keeping us stuck in a place that we are when we see ourselves being somewhere else. And sometimes it's our environment, sometimes it's, you know, physical things that we have cluttering our space, our energy. Sometimes it could be staying at jobs longer than you want to when, you know, you're not feeling happy or fulfilled anymore. Or even with cars, you know, I often held on to my car. You know, that's one example I want to share with you is cars. You know, I have said for so long that I wanted a new car, but I was so unable to let go of my old car that was falling apart, that was constantly having issues. You know, every other day something was happening to that car. And really, I feel like it was all just the universe, you know, trying to force me to let it go. It's like, it's not working. What are you holding on for? You're just postponing that new car that you keep asking for. How can we bring it to you if you're not willing to let go of something that's not working anymore? And how are you going to appreciate it? How are you going to hold it if you're so stuck on the old, the things that are no longer serving you and that have served their purpose pretty much? So, yeah, not being able to let go, not releasing. Another thing that was often keeping me from receiving my asks when I wanted them was questioning them and questioning when I would get them. You know, all of that really adds to the resistance that's holding your asks back, holding these things that you want to come into your life. They are like not ready. They're like, I see you questioning. I see you're not letting go. I see you're not in alignment. So clearly you're not ready for me yet. But once we start working on these things, once we get into alignment and become a vibrational match for these things that we want, once we learn detachment and be okay with, you know, things coming and going, it's really that ebb and flow of life that really allow us to grow. And also just being grateful and showing gratitude for the things that we have, for everything that we have had, for all of our experiences, for everything that has brought us to this point, to want to have more and to want to, you know, gain those new experiences and gain clarity on the things that we want to see. It's really just showing gratitude, and all of these things can really help you to raise your vibration, to become an aligned person, an aligned energy with the things that we want, and yeah, to stop focusing on our asks and to start focusing on the feeling that we will have once we receive them. Those are all some really great ways to speed up your manifestations, to bring them in a lot faster and a lot easier. So, that was number one. I want to know, does anyone have any questions? Is everything landing so far? Was there anything that I've said that you might not get or you don't know that term? Let me know in the comments. I will answer anything I can. Um, I also wanted to mention, guys, so since this is my first live, I would really love it if you could just let me know how everything was for you at the end or throughout. Give me your feedback. Let me know if there's anything I could change, do better, or take out. I'm really using this opportunity to grow, and I would just love to know how you enjoy this masterclass at the end or at any time. So you can leave a comment or send me a message. Find me anywhere. I'm on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I'm everywhere. So with that being said, let's move on to number two. And the second roadblock that I was constantly experiencing was that I would be trying to manifest something specific, but I would get something similar. It wasn't always exactly what I wanted, and it really threw me off. So for me, this really showed up as, maybe asking for a certain job or for something to work out for me and it not happening. I might have ended up getting a different job, which turned out to be even better. So a lot of the times, that's the reason behind this. It could just be that maybe we weren't as clear as we thought we were on what we were asking for. Maybe there was something better on the way. These are two really great things and reasons why this has often shown up for me. And oftentimes we really get ourselves stuck on this specific thing of these things not showing up as we wanted them to or showing up differently. We get stuck because we're so thrown off at the fact that it's not what we wanted. And we don't take the time to step back and see whether this is something better for me, whether this really will be more supportive and allow me to grow more. If I'm actually in this job instead of this place, maybe there are things that we're not seeing yet, but further down the line, everything will start to make sense and everything will connect. When we get so stuck on things not being exactly as we wanted, this also creates a lot of resistance. It slows things down for us. It makes us doubt ourselves and our connection with the universe, our connection with ourselves. And we really have to just be open for things to come in, not exactly as you wanted. Just keep in your heart and in your mind that this wouldn't show up for you if it wasn't for a reason. Maybe this will teach you to become more confident. Maybe this will allow you to feel like a part of a community. Maybe this will challenge you in a way that you were not being challenged before, which will then help you further on down the line, down your journey in life in any way. We never know what's coming to us, but we can really help ourselves by staying in alignment, as I said before, and by not getting so thrown off when things come in differently. A lot of times, these things are really just pivots. They're just opportunities for us to shift and move in a different direction. We really need to start trusting ourselves and our intuition and the universe and believe that everything that is happening to us is actually happening for us. Sometimes we get so caught up in, feeling like the world is happening to us that we're not seeing how it could be trying to force us to step up, to see the potential of what our lives could really be. And so, yeah, that's what I'm really hoping you guys get from today, is just knowing that you can change your lives, you can shift your reality, you can do all of this just by changing the things that you're thinking, the things that you're speaking to yourself, and starting to call in everything that you want. And no more talking about things we don't like, things we don't want, that's out the window. So another way that we could really change this and become more in alignment with what we're asking for or this change is by focusing on the feeling, focusing on how we want to feel when we receive whatever it is that we're calling in. So sometimes we don't even know what we want, but we know how we want to feel. And that's a really great starting place. If we can start building that feeling within ourselves and showing up in that feeling, it could be, more happiness or more love. Oftentimes, when we are kind of exuding that and showing ourselves love, showing ourselves gratitude, going outside and just admiring a tree or a flower or the sky, the stars, anything at all of that can help us to raise our vibration and to be a match for anything that might make us feel that way. Whether that's in a job, in a car, in a house, in someone else. When we show up as that, we are allowing that to find us. So, really, yeah, feelings, focusing on that. Another really great thing you can do is when you're making your ask to specifically say at the end, this or something better. And what this does is it really opens up the possibilities. This is where we can see blessings coming in and miracles coming in because we're allowing ourselves to be open to whatever the universe feels will be most beneficial to us, whatever the universe feels will be better for us. And we won't be so stuck on this thing that we imagine to be all that there is, all that can bring us happiness, when really, the sky's the limit. You can call in things that you're not even sure of yet just by saying, I'm open for this. I'm open for miracles. I'm open for my life to change for the better. And I will, I'll be grateful when I see it. I'll be grateful when I receive it. So really, that, just being open for whatever the universe delivers and trusting that it is for your highest good. Yeah, we'll really be going a lot deeper in that as well because oftentimes it is that layer of, not feeling like we deserve the best or feeling like we can only have so much or that, if we have this and someone else is, SOL, won't be able to have the same thing. But really, the universe is abundant. Everything, there's more than enough for everyone, which is why a lot of the times when you see people receiving things that you want, you should really just be grateful and be happy for them because when you see it, that means it's possible for you as well. A lot of the times, these things that come into our minds, they wouldn't come in if it wasn't possible for us. So we really just have to allow ourselves to dream and to believe that we are worthy of these things that we ask for. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be taken care of. And the universe is there, willing and waiting to deliver all of this to us. We just also have to do our part to stay in alignment, to trust, and to know that we're always taken care of. Even when things get a bit tough, oftentimes, we might already be on a shaky foundation. So when these things start happening and you're stressed out and wondering like, why is this happening to me? Just start thinking like, what is being removed so that I can gain something better? How is this rock bottom allowing me to start fresh and really start to build something solid for myself and to start calling in all of those things that I said I wanted, but I wasn't willing to do the work. And when I say work, it's really just like fun work and just staying in that high and just trusting that you're taken care of. So yeah, don't be afraid of the redirect. Don't be afraid of the pivot. It's all for you. It's all for your benefit and to make things a lot better for you. So an example of this is this is one of the turning points in my life. So in 2017, I used to do contract work. They call it casuals if you're familiar with the government of Canada, with the federal government. So it's pretty much when you do 90 calendar days with one department, and you can only work with one department each calendar year. So let's say you start working with one in like May, you wouldn't be able to work again with them after that 90 days. You'd have to wait the following year. So it can be a bit stressful and tricky to constantly line up jobs after this one will be finishing and you know that you can't stay. And back then, it was kind of difficult to get hired, permanently or on a term. It really depended on who you knew. And I landed at this one department that I really loved. I just loved everything about it there, the people, the work, the department itself. I just felt so alive there. And I was like, oh, I would love it if I could stay here. And my supervisor at the time told me, you know what, if you can pass your French exam, I'd be able to get you on here permanently. So I was like, okay, of course. I did French immersion as a kid. I was like, okay, I can speak it. I'm pretty sure I could pass. So I started studying. I started doing all of my tricks, my visualizations. I was doing my affirmations. I was studying all night, and I knew that this was the place that I was going to be, and I knew I was going to pass that exam. So when the time came that I did the exam, I was doing it and I felt so good. I left there and I was like, I know that I passed this. I'm going to celebrate now because it's already done. It's already mine. But really inside, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh gosh, like what if it doesn't work? And I was really creating a lot of resistance behind that. So when the results came back, I opened them and I saw that I failed by 1 point. And I was so shocked. I was like, this has to be a joke. I couldn't believe it. So luckily, I still had a month before I had to end my contract or get hired permanently. And with that test, you have to wait 30 days before you can retake it. So it lined up pretty well, and I was like, okay, for sure this time I'm gonna get it. I've already done the exam, I know the questions, I'm just gonna study a bit more, and I'll keep doing my affirmations, my visualizations, I'll keep going. So the time comes, and obviously I'm, not thinking about anything other than passing this exam. I just feel like this is it, it's gonna happen this time. I do the exam, same thing, I feel so confident. I even go home and I do a celebratory dinner with some special drinks. And again, the results come back, and this time I failed by 2 points. And I cried. I was so depressed. I was so, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. Because I was like, I'm doing everything that I've seen online, everything I've read in the books, everything that I'm supposed to do, I've done. So why am I not receiving? Why am I not taken care of? And since I wasn't thinking of finding another job because I was so sure I would be here, I didn't. I didn't start looking for another job, and that was the first time I was ever unemployed as an adult. I always have a job. That's one thing about me, like I can always make money. I always know money's coming in, and it doesn't even matter if I don't have something right now. I know it's lined up. I know I'll be taken care of. And with that, I was able to get a few job interviews, and I had 3 offers. Maybe 3 weeks later, I gave myself a week to really feel that and feel the emotion, move through it, and then I pulled myself together again. I started doing my applications, reaching out to people, my usual things I would do to find another casual. And so again, like I said, I got 3 job offers within 3 weeks, and I had decided to go with one because it was in a really great department. It was a pretty high up position as an assistant for the president of that department. And so I let them know, like, yeah, I'll take this job. And the same day that I said that, my old supervisor's friend contacted me, and she was like, yeah, so and so gave me your CV. I sent it to my director. She should be calling you and, asking to meet with you. And I was like, oh, well, I already said okay to this, so, maybe I'll just go, I'll check it out and see what it's all about. And so I ended up going to meet this woman. And from the moment that I saw her, I don't know why, I just felt like I had known her before. We got along so well. Both of our names started with N, and I was just like, this is too good to be true. And so the interview went so well. And, towards the end, she was like, yeah, if you come here, you don't have to do your French. Like, I can get you in. Because I told her I had already accepted a job, and I was like, yeah, I feel really bad because I don't want to waste your time, but I accepted something already. And she was like, you know what? You can take that back. I'm going to sweeten the deal for you, and I'm going to hire you. It might take a few months. You're going to come in on a casual, but at the end of that time, I promise you, I will get you into permanent, and we will work on getting your French. And so obviously with that, I was sold. I was like, well, okay, let's go. I contacted the other people and I let them know. Unfortunately, I decided to go somewhere else. They were really mad, but it didn't matter because everything worked out even better than I could have imagined. And that was all because I didn't allow myself to get stuck in those feelings of loss and disappointment and not being able to open myself up to these other opportunities that might be coming through people or ideas that pop into our heads or even things that we might see online. A lot of the times, these are just messages and opportunities for us to follow something else, to get to where we want, to get what we want to bring into our lives. So, yeah, that's my example of trusting the redirect because I'm literally still at that department right now. I am speaking this into existence. That is the last department that I'm ever going to work at, the last government job that I'm ever going to have because I will be doing this full time. I will be teaching and coaching full time. And yeah, I'm just happy you guys are here to witness it because we're going to go back in a few months and everything will be as I said. And if not, then I don't know, we're going to learn from it. But I want you guys to have that same like passion and fire and knowing that everything is happening for us. Everything is moving for us. And it's really just helping us along the way to get to our destination, to bring in the things that we want to see. So let's move on to the third one. The third topic, the third roadblock that I often experienced was that I would get what I wanted, but once I got it, I realized, this really isn't it. This isn't what I thought it would be. And oftentimes that happens because these things might be the right things, but it might be the wrong time. It might be that we can't hold it yet, that we can't appreciate it, so we don't recognize it as what we need. Sometimes we might need to experience a bit more, to go through more situations that will help us get more clear. We might need to release a bit more. There are so many reasons why this could happen. And oftentimes, something else that could be another reason for that is that our wants may have shifted between when we made our ask and when it showed up in the physical world, in our reality. And that's okay as well. That is really just showing us that we can move, we can pivot. It's all contrast, right? It's helping us to get more clear on what we want. So oftentimes we might get stuck because we're not understanding that we're always evolving. With every ask that we put out there, it kind of makes things more clear for us. It puts us more on our path by being able to experience all of these things and to know, like, yeah, I like that. No, I don't really like that as much, so I'm going to keep going this way. So we really have to give ourselves that grace and that compassion to know that we're not always going to get it right. And sometimes we do need those contrasting situations to help us to know what we want more of. And also knowing that it's okay to change our minds. It's totally okay to change your mind. It is normal to change your mind. That just means that you're human. We keep ourselves stuck and limited so often because we think that you might be a bad person, or you might be hurting someone, or, what are people going to think if I said I wanted to do this and then I do something else? We are meant to experience, we are meant to try everything and to see what we want. This is all about us. This is your life, and it's really up to you to take ownership of that and not let outside influences dictate what you do or what you don't do. So we are evolving, we are moving forward, and everything that happens to us, even if it's not what we want anymore, it's still benefiting us. It's still helping us grow and learn. So, how can we change this? How can we start to appreciate these things when they come in and it might not be exactly what we wanted? And this could be by just being grateful for the contrast, understanding that it really is all just helping you, helping us to get clear on our wants, on our needs, on our desires, and to really know that we deserve them, that we're worthy of them. Contrast is so amazing. I have used that so much over the past year, because when I tell you guys, last year, if you would ask me anything, I would say, I don't know. That was literally my go-to word, because I had come out of a long-term relationship. I was just, for the first time in my adult life, I was single, and I had no one to be responsible for, no one to be responsible to. I kind of felt like I had a second chance at life almost, and I realized how many things I actually did not do, how many places I was keeping myself small and stagnant and stuck, because I wasn't open to the contrast. I wasn't open to trying new things. And I was really letting fear get the best of me. I'm a recovering people pleaser. So I still have some tendencies here and there, but back then, wow, I would bend over backwards to make sure that someone else was not upset. I would work overtime. I would just do so much to prove that I was worthy and to make sure that everyone else was at peace, even when it was, really deteriorating my self-worth and the love that I had for myself and my sense of self. I lost that. So when I had the opportunity to start creating, start dreaming, and figuring out where my place was in this world, I had no idea. I didn't know what I wanted for myself. I was so stuck, so I really leaned heavy on contrast. I was often asking for situations, for maybe experiences, for people to come into my life to help me to decide what it was that I wanted. Oftentimes it would come into my life as, maybe a certain relationship, and someone would ask me how I wanted it to go. And even then, I was still pretty, weak on boundaries. So I found myself doing things, and then I really listened to myself and said, you know what? I don't want this. I don't want this for myself. I want something else. I want this more. And I would go in that direction. And even though, these situations didn't always go as I thought they would, I was still so thankful for them, because they helped me to gain clarity. They helped me to know what it was that I did want when I was so stuck, when I wasn't sure what it was that I wanted. So all of these situations really helped me grow, really helped me to be clear and steady in the things that I wanted. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys can hear that. My stomach is growling. I'm a bit hungry. It's been a long day, but if you guys are here with me, I hope you're eating something yummy. Let me know if you guys are eating anything. What did you have for dinner? And let me know in the comments. I really want to know. I'm excited for my dinner after this. But anyways, so let's go back into this. Let me give you a really great example of something that happened to me recently, where I was able to get that contrast, right? I was able to know what it was that I wanted, what I didn't want. So in one of my older jobs, there was a position that came up, and it was an acting position. It was going to pay more than my job at the time. And when it first came up, I was like, you know what? I don't really want that responsibility. I'm kind of okay where I am right now. I'm just going to keep, writing this out and staying in this job. So they ended up hiring someone for that position, and a bunch of stuff happened, and we had to get someone in acting. So when all of that happened, I had some other stuff going on, and they ended up asking someone else on the team to do that job. And I was a bit thrown off. I was like, you know what? Maybe I do want to try that. Maybe that should go to me. And I really got down into that negative mindset. Hi, Mona. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you're doing great. And leave any tips that you have in the comments, because I know you're a master manifester as well. You were one of the reasons why I ended up where I was in that whole job situation. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, leave anything you want in the comments. But with this job, oh my gosh, I was so thrown off. I really was going down into that hole of not feeling worthy as I was, and feeling like I had to do a whole lot more just to get that recognition and what I thought was rightfully mine. And in the end, what it taught me was that I really had to start speaking up for myself. I had to start advocating and getting clear on my boundaries, and really just challenging when people do things that I know are wrong, instead of just either walking away, finding a new job, or just, letting it go, to really challenge them. And that helped me so much to gain my confidence, to be more courageous. I often found myself getting stuck in these ruts of letting the fear stop me from moving forward, and letting the fear keep me stagnant and in these cycles of in these cycles of things that I didn't want. So that was really a defining moment for me. I was so proud of myself after that. And yeah, a lot of the times these things are really happening for a different reason. So like I said, it could be right thing, wrong time. It could be for a different reason, to help us grow. It could be that, there are parts of us that still need to be uncovered. But with these situations, they're really helping us to peel back that layer and to evolve into a newer version of ourselves. And we're always evolving, so don't even think that, that it's all good, and, things are not going to happen. Everything's always happening for us. So just use that, keep that close to your heart, and know that you're always taken care of. Everything is always okay. And now I want to go into the last part, number 4. And this was that, like I just mentioned, a lot of the times I had no idea what I wanted. And before, that used to get me stuck so much, because I was like, well, I thought you needed to know. I thought you needed to be clear on these things that you're asking for. How am I supposed to manifest? How am I supposed to attract things that will make my life better if I don't even know what that is? And again, it's really becoming best friends with contrast, understanding what it's really doing for you and how it's really benefiting you and helping you to gain that clarity. Another thing, another way that we often get stuck is that we haven't been able to try enough new things. We haven't had enough experiences to gain that clarity and that knowing of what we want and of what we want to see more of. So clarity can bring all of that in, contrast can bring all of that in, bring in new experiences, new situations, new ways for you to see what it is that you want, what it is that you like, and for you to drop those things that you don't like and that you're, tired of. Another thing, okay, we went over that. So, an example of that, I'll give you guys another example. So, when I was doing my inner work last year, I felt like I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be a homeowner. That was something that I had worked so hard on for the years prior with my ex. We were saving, we were doing everything to become homeowners, but for some reason it just never happened. And after we split, I was in this position where I had the down payment money, I was able to save even more because I moved back in with my dad and I wasn't paying rent. I had no bills. It was pretty awesome, guys, I have to say. But yeah, I was free. I was able to really heal myself and come home to myself and really uncover what it is that I wanted for myself. Back then, being a homeowner, that was really what everyone expected of me. That was what other people were putting on me, and I was really just trying to please everyone else and make them happy. And deep down, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to be a homeowner. That's a lot of responsibility. And it was totally different when it would have been two people. But as a single person, with all of this responsibility, I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted. So I was really calling in the contrast. I was really asking for, situations, for ideas to come into my mind, for opportunities for me to get clear on whether I really wanted to be a homeowner, what I wanted to do next, whether I wanted to rent, really what it was that I wanted. And this allowed me to meet great mentors, meet my coach, meet great people who were able to ask me those questions. And I was really to get deep and start looking at what was inside of my heart, what was inside of my soul. And deep down, yeah, I did want to be a homeowner. So once I got clear on that and I knew that's really what I wanted, I started writing out how I wanted my house to make me feel. I was writing out where I wanted it to be, what I wanted, outside. I really loved walking when I was living with my dad. I was, by the Ottawa River. I was beside a beautiful beach. It was just the most beautiful area I had ever been in. And it's funny because I lived there a few years prior, but I never walked. I never really experienced and immersed myself in that environment. So when I moved back, that was the first thing I started doing, was to spend time with myself in nature. I was going for walks every day and I was just thinking about what I wanted for myself. I was taking this time where I was alone with myself to, reflect on everything I'd been through, release. If I needed to cry, I cried. I didn't care if I was walking past people, I let it move through me so that it wouldn't stay stuck and stagnant and keep me low. And as I did that, I really got clear on what it was that I wanted for myself. I wanted that house. I wanted a light, airy home where I could feel myself, where I could create, where I could bring the change that I want to see into the world. I also wanted a place close to water. I wanted a place with great walking paths, and I wanted somewhere close to my family. And once I got clear on that, I also wrote down how I wanted the process to be. I wanted to work with a great realtor. I wanted to have a great experience with them, and I wanted the process to be fun and easy, and for me to know my house when I saw it. And I kid you not, that was the experience I had buying my house. It was kind of surreal because I had so much fun. I was so worried because back then, last summer, the market was super crazy. They were saying you really need to bid like 50,000 over just to get a place. Things are going like that. And so, everyone was putting this fear into this process. But I was really standing strong and knowing and trusting that this was going to be fun for me. I was going to learn what I wanted and see it manifest in front of me. And I wanted to have a great realtor who was able to, explain things to me. And that's exactly how it was. Oh, are you guys seeing everything okay? Are you guys having any issues? If so, let me know in the comments, if anything is unclear or if I'm cutting out. But yeah, so I manifested my house. I really did. I ended up finding this house on, I think it was a Labor Day weekend. I saw it and I knew right away. I could see the vision for this place. It needed some work. It really did. But I knew that if it needs work, then I can probably bid a bit less than they're asking so that I can use that money to renovate. And so I put a bid in. I ended up getting my home for less than they listed it for. Everything went smooth. I was so happy. I was so thankful. And literally every day since I've been living here, I find something new that I'm falling in love with. Like, something really funny is that I went to Mexico earlier this year and I would see this beautiful tree full of flowers. And I was just thinking, like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a tree like that at my house. I wish I had something like that around me where I could look and see that every day. And when I saw that it was winter here, everything was hibernating, was dead, sleeping. So, once May came around and everything was blooming, all the flowers were growing, guess what the tree was in front of my front door? In front of my windows was a beautiful tree full of purple and pink flowers. And I was just in awe. I was so thankful. I just remember thinking, like, this stuff is really real. This is too good to be true because I'm asking for these things. And I'm saying it would be so nice if this was here. It would be so nice if, I had these here. And these things manifest, they show up in my reality because I, I feel like I've gotten pretty good at it. I feel like I've done it enough, I've seen enough evidence to know that this stuff really works. And I'm stubborn, okay? So oftentimes I don't listen to what people tell me. I have to do it myself. I have to figure it out myself. I have to try it myself. Even if you say that stove is hot, don't touch it, I will probably touch it and say, oh yeah, you're right, it is hot. So that's how I've been with my journey in manifesting and the law of attraction, and really just getting my energy right, getting in alignment with everything that I want to call into my life, into my experience. And now I'm really just inviting you all to do the same. If you're ready to start calling in these things into your lives, like I said, I am doing this 6-week program, and we're really going to dive deep into getting down to the reasons why we have these blockages, these negative mindsets, these patterns and stories, and starting to pick them apart and seeing that it's really not what we thought it was. And we have so much power to change them, to change our story, to rewrite our life. And yeah, I just know that this is going to be life changing for anyone who joins, whether you join today or later on. I know that this will be something special. This is all stuff that I've done myself. And like I said, my life has changed in 13 months, in a year and a month. We're at the end of June now. And I remember last June, I was just starting to feel the momentum. I was starting to feel things shifting and moving for me. I always say this, that last summer was such a blur because I was moving so fast. I was really getting into alignment, and everything that I was asking for was coming in with super speed. And once we really start to break down the things that are holding us back, creating all of that resistance in our lives, we can start shifting our realities. We can start timeline jumping. If you guys are into that, there are so many ways that we can start bringing in what we want a lot faster. So, again, if you're interested in that, leave a comment, send me a DM, join the program. I'm pretty sure I've linked it somewhere on my page, or if you need the info, let me know. You're going to have tons of goodies, and I'm just so excited to bring that to you guys. But for now, let's just close out and recap everything that we've gone over so far. So, the roadblocks and how to overcome them. We went over 4. So the first one was that our manifestations are not happening fast enough. And we can overcome this by getting into alignment with our asks, by raising our vibration, by detaching from the old, outdated stories, old programming, and releasing, and really just showing gratitude for what we already have and everything that's on the way. So, number 2, we are getting stuck at trying to manifest specific things and them not happening as we wanted, or getting things similar to what we wanted. And we can overcome this by really being open to the something better, being open to the miracles, to the blessings that might be trying to peek through, but we're just so focused on what it is that we want that we're missing everything that is being thrown at us. So it's really just that being open, focusing on the feeling of what you want to receive, and by asking for this or something better. Hi, Violetta. Thank you so much for joining. I really hope that you're enjoying everything you've heard so far. Thank you for staying until the end. Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you have any comments or anything at all, if you want more clarity on questions, let me know. I will definitely answer them. And number 3, the roadblock was that I got what I wanted, but now that I have it, I'm realizing it's not all that I thought it would be. So with this, we really need to get comfortable with the contrast, allow it to teach us, allow it to help us to gain clarity and to know what it is that we want to see, know what it is that we want more of, and start releasing the things that we don't want. Let them go from our minds, from our realities, and stay focused on the positives, on the things that we want to see more of. I can't stress that enough. And also, we can try focusing again on the feeling itself so that when it comes, we won't miss it. When it comes, we'll know that that's what it is because we'll recognize the feeling. Our hearts, our souls will recognize that this is what I was calling into my life. And we'll be able to appreciate it, to show gratitude, and to just be so thankful for it because we're able to appreciate it and hold it. And we won't let it slip through our fingers, right? Number 4 was that I don't even know what I want. And again, it's really just getting used to contrast, getting used to asking the universe to send you what your heart might be wanting. I'm not sure if I touched on this. I might have skipped it by accident, but that's another great thing to do if we're not sure of what we want. We can ask the universe to deliver whatever is in our hearts, whatever we might not be able to verbalize yet, but what our souls are really calling for right now, whatever will benefit us the most, what will help us the most in this moment. A lot of the times we might be feeling this way when we're in a low and we don't know what to do. We just know that where we are right now is not cutting it. And we know that there's something better. There's a way, I just know it, right? Where I can be happier, where I can live the life that I see everyone else living, that I dream for myself, the life that I want for myself. And this is where we ask with that emotion behind it, that knowing that whatever happens is for the best. It will benefit us. It will help us. It will heal us. Right? So it's really just asking for what your heart wants, or whatever the universe feels would be the most beneficial for us in that moment. And also, just by trusting and knowing that we're always supported, the universe is always supporting us, the universe is always conspiring for our success. Happiness is our birthright. Abundance is our birthright. We really didn't come here to be suffering and to be stuck in these negative cycles of self-doubt and, not feeling like we can have the things that we want and being afraid so much. We came here to overcome that, to show others that it's possible, and to be that light when other people are still in that low. For us to continue shining and bringing in all that we're asking for, because the universe is abundant. There is so much out there for each one of us. So nothing you ask for is ever too much. Nothing you ask for is taking away from someone else. If anything, it's bringing more of it into the world, into the universe. We're all connected. And everything is energy. So when we start to raise our energy, we're bringing more of these things that we want into the world. We are leading by example. We are the ones who are getting on track and really being clear and not falling into, the stories that the media tells us. These things that keep us stuck and stagnant and feeling like we can't get any further, like we don't deserve what it is that we want. So, really, it's just by trusting that we're always taken care of. We're trusting that everything is always working out for us. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, I guarantee you, in a few months, maybe in a few years, you will see why everything you went through was only helping you to get to this point. Every single thing that you've experienced in your life has helped you to grow and to become the person that you are today. And even right now, by you being here, you're showing the universe, you're showing yourself that you're open to more. You want more for yourself because you want this information. You didn't come across this by accident. Maybe it was you who was ready to change your life, to, start attracting more and start dreaming again. And maybe this came into your reality by that. Maybe you know me and you're here supporting. It doesn't matter. The information that I'm giving you right now, I know will be beneficial for you. If anything, I just hope that it sparks something in you to start really thinking and paying attention to the words that we're using, to what we're speaking to ourselves, to the spells that we're casting. Because really, when we speak out loud, we are, creating a spell. We are calling in, and we are invoking a lot of the things that we say. So it's very, very important for us to start being more intentional with the things that we say. I want you to kind of do a little experiment. I want you to leave here and just start paying attention to the things that you're saying to yourselves. And just start noticing the patterns, the cycles in your life. And see if you're saying something that might be contributing to that. Or if you're ready to make a change, I want you to start changing what you say to yourself. I want you to start saying what you want to be, whether you want to be more confident or you want to have more money. Just start saying things like, I am becoming an abundant person. I am becoming more and more confident each and every day. I am becoming more at peace and at home in my own skin. Even if we're not there right now, it doesn't mean that we're not working towards it. It doesn't mean that we're not calling it into our reality. So don't let the fact that you don't have it yet be something that creates resistance and something that you get stuck on. Just think of this as a transitional period to where you want to be. This entire life is just a journey for us. And yeah, we have an end goal. We have somewhere that we want to be. We often feel like we have a life's purpose, a life's path. And that's what a lot of us are trying to get to. But so often we get stuck in focusing so much on the end that we're not enjoying the journey. We're not being present in each and every moment. We're not paying attention to the rabbit that we might see that just, decides to start hopping along with us, or the butterflies, or the stars, or maybe someone that you might run into who tells you something right when you needed to hear it. There are so many things that are guiding us, that are dropping little hints into our minds and trying to uncover the unlimited potential that we have within ourselves. You just need to be present in the moment and open enough, aware enough to notice them when they start showing up, so that we can take them and use them on our journey and not just let them slip through our hands. And yeah, that's really what I wanted to share with you guys today. Again, if you want to dive deeper, let me tell you a bit more about my program. So, as I said, this 6-week program will be really intense. I'm not gonna lie. We'll be diving deeper into the reasons behind why we often fall into the traps that I've mentioned And even more, there are so many reasons why things are not happening for us. But as I said, this course will be some work. It's not just going to be something you show up for and you see changes. You really need to start doing the work and challenging yourself to think differently, to dissect the stories that we have about why we're stuck in these cycles that we're in. So, as I said, we are going to dive deep into that. We are going to be learning how to keep our energies high, our being in alignment with our desires. And we are going to learn the art of detachment. We are going to start, focusing more on our journey and start to dream. We are going to get in touch with our creative side again and start dreaming up everything that we've always wanted for ourselves, but never thought that we could have or hold. So, yeah, we're really going to be diving deep, clearing out those blockages. We're going to be learning how to, we're going to be learning that self-talk and how to start using words to shift our realities. We are going to start receiving and becoming magnetic beings. And also, I'm so excited because this is going to be such an amazing space of community for us to support each other, because a lot of the times we feel like we're in these things alone. We feel like we're the only ones experiencing these, these issues, these wants and desires, and not knowing how to get there. But I really want this to be a space for us to co-create and for us to come together and to build each other up and to really gain that sense of community and support, which is something that I feel is really lacking these days, especially since we're all, a lot of us are working from home and we're all doing that more internet vibe. So yes, as I mentioned at the beginning, the price for this course is going to be $630, and that's for 6 weeks. We are going to be doing 6 90-minute weekly live six calls once a week for the 6 weeks, 90 minutes. They're going to be live. We are going to be breaking down all of these things together and really building that sturdy foundation to start growing and start calling in everything that we want for ourselves right now and in the future. And if you join today, if you join before July 1st, I will also throw in a free bonus one-on-one session with me and also a special Tao Healing Hands blessing. So this is something that I've been working on my own time. I'm constantly doing personal development, learning, and trying to hone and really master my energy and seeing how I can be of service to others, to the world. And this brought me to Tao, Tao Academy, Next Level Tao. And, oh, thank you so much, Mona. I know this has all happened within a year. Because, I wasn't like this before. You know me from before. So, I'm here, I'm speaking, and I'm bringing this to all of you to share this information and to raise our vibration and to start creating this reality where we, can call in all of these things, where we can change, where we can become these versions of ourselves that we always knew was deep down. But we were just too afraid to get there, right? We were too afraid to speak up and let ourselves be seen and heard. So, Mona says, I love how you became more confident and courageous. So proud of you, right? So a lot of people who've known me before know that I was a really big people pleaser. I was someone who would always try and keep the peace. I wasn't one to, bring things up that were bothering me. I would rather just make sure that everyone else was okay, and if I wasn't, I could deal with it. But that really just kept me stuck. That kept me in relationships, in, environments where I wasn't feeling like I was supported, where I wasn't feeling like I could be myself, and where I wasn't feeling like I can grow. And subconsciously, I kind of manifested my breakup, which is really devastating because it was the most difficult thing that I've ever gone through. But if that had never happened to me, then I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here speaking up for myself and knowing what it is that I want to do and what I want to bring into the world. And, that's something that I really want to share with you all, is that whole process of me healing and going through that time in my life, because it was really low, it was really dark and lonely. And I was able to find a community, to find people, to find myself again, and come home to myself and start dreaming of my life for me without having everyone else's opinions and thoughts and needs in the background, but by really being here with myself and learning who I was and what I wanted and how I wanted to show up in this world. And I know that I manifested it. I know I did, because the way that everything happened, there's no way it was by chance. And so even though that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me, that was the first time I've ever felt my heart break, guys. Like, I'm sure you've been through it, but when you're in it, you feel so alone and you feel like you're the only one. And like no one else understands. And you can't see yourself outside of it. But I got out, guys. There's hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and if I can be that for you, then I will. I'll be here. I will show up now. I will speak and share my stories and hope that, something resonates for you and that you can see yourself in me, or you can see yourself in the things that I speak and how I was able to change and transform my life, and to really be growing and learning and being open and okay with failing and messing up and not letting it stop me anymore. I was so nervous when this started because I wasn't able to start this live. I was freaking out and I was so scared because, I was late and I couldn't figure it out, and I was getting really nervous and anxious and just worried that no one was going to show up, all of those things, the ego coming in to keep me safe and not let me spread this message. But I kept pushing, I kept trying, and eventually, it took me about 10 minutes, but I finally got on and I showed up. And, I feel like this went really well. Again, this is my first time doing a masterclass. This is my first time showing up live and speaking and teaching and delivering my message for over an hour. So yeah, I'm really proud of myself right now. After this, I'm definitely going to give myself a little pedicure and have a nice glass of wine or something. I don't know, but I'm really grateful that you all showed up, you all came, whether you're here live or watching the replay. I appreciate you so much, and I'm so grateful to you. I'm so grateful that you took your time out of your day to be here and to listen to me speak and to hear my message and to just support and continue to raise our vibration, continue showing up and just being curious and wanting to know and open to learning more. If anything, I just hope that anything that you heard today can help you on your journey. If there's anything that was unclear or you want more clarity on, or you have any questions about, just leave a comment. You can message me, send me a DM anywhere, on Instagram, on Facebook, even on YouTube. Go leave a message in one of my videos. I will get back to you. But I just really, really hope that you enjoyed this masterclass. Also, please leave your feedback. Let me know how this was for you. Did everything come through clear? Did you have any questions? Was I speaking too fast, or did I not get my point across in some points? Did you understand what I was trying to share? And is there anything that you would want to see more of? Let me know. I'm totally open. I want this criticism, I want this critiquing so that I can use this and I can get better for the next time. So again, I just want to thank you all so, so, so much for being here. Your presence, your energy, your everything, your being is just so so welcome, and I'm really thankful to you. And thank yourself for being open to this information, to wanting to know more, and to giving yourself this chance of learning for you. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I will stay online for maybe 2 more minutes. And if not, I will see you guys in 2 weeks for Rewrite Your Life. Again, we still have some spots open, so if you're interested, definitely let me know. Send me a DM and I'll get you all of the information so that you can sign up and you can be a part of this amazing life-changing program that I've been working on. I'll tell you guys a bit more about that as I just sit here seeing if we get any comments or anything like that. But I have been working on creating this program for the past month. And even before that, I knew that I wanted to create this. I knew that I wanted to do this. I just didn't know how to bring it to life. I had never done this before, so I wasn't sure what I needed to do. But this is where I started asking. I got clear. I had so many things happen to me that made me stand firm in knowing that this really is what I want to do. I really felt the fire in my throat and in my heart, and knowing that this stuff can really change lives and that more people need to know about it. So, as I was creating this program with my coach, with my mentor, I was also filming this. And I will be creating a little YouTube series. It's kind of like a behind the scenes program where I share some of the milestones, some of the aha moments, a lot of this coming together of this program. So if you guys are interested in that, head over to my YouTube. The link is on my page. Check out, be on the lookout for that. It's coming. I have all the footage. I just need to sit down and edit it. So, yeah, hopefully this time it'll be a lot smoother, a lot faster. But that is something that I'm really excited to share with you. And yeah, so with that, I will let you guys all have an amazing evening. Thank you again for being here with me and for listening to me speak for this long. I'm really excited to do more of these. If there's anything else that you guys want more clarity on, if there's a topic that you're really interested in and you want me to dive deeper on it, let me know. And I'll share other tidbits. I'll probably just hop on live every now and again, sharing some tips, some tricks on how you can start manifesting a lot faster, some of the things that I like to do to manifest, and tons of other amazing things. I'm sure when they come up, I'll just hop on and share them with you. But yeah, so I really hope you have a great evening. Thank you again, and I just wish the best for you all. I'll see you next time. Bye.